Hey, what's up, guys? Dean Hansen here. Today we're going to be learning how to color correct photos with Final Cut Pro. I already own Final Cut Pro. I'm really new to the photo game, and I'm not really taking enough pictures and doing it enough to buy Lightroom or Photoshop yet. But because I already own Final Cut Pro to make videos like this, I figured, why can't I use that color correction from Final Cut for my photos? And the answer is yes, you can. And I'm going to show you how to do it right now. The process I'm going to show you is very simple, and it's something I just learned. And it took me a long time to find something this simple that gets this good of results. Every time I do this method, it takes about 30 seconds to a minute. I like the result better than the original photo, and a lot of color correction videos you'll find out there are people that just tell you to kind of mess around with the color knobs until you get a feel that you like, and you don't really understand what you're doing. I'm going to show you how to import the photo and export it properly so that you save your resolution. But first, and if you're not interested, just skip ahead a minute, but I'm going to play a video of like my first 10 pictures that I color corrected just to give you an idea of the results you can get from this method. All right, we're back, and you must have thought that the pictures looked a little bit better, or else you would have hit the like, you would have hit the dislike button, and you'd be off. Let's get to the fucking point. All right, open up Final Cut Pro, and you're gonna import the picture, of course, that you want to edit. So we'll grab this one here. So once you import the picture, it's gonna ask you, what resolution you want. Come over to your resolution and hit custom. If you custom the resolution, it'll automatically detect the resolution of the picture. You can see this is a high resolution picture, 6,000 by 4,000. That's like 24 megapixels or something. It automatically put that in there, and that's all you got to do. And then you just hit OK. All right, so here we are ready to color correct the image of this beast of a dog that I own. His name is Wally. If you select the clip, you're going to want to click over here on the triangle. That brings up your color options. To see what we actually are trying to achieve, we need to bring up another thing. Control 7. You have different options here. If you don't see what I see here, you got to come in here and select waveform, RGB parade, and that'll bring you to here. This is expressing all the colors in this image. Down here at 0 is your darks, your shadows, your black. 0 is dead black, and 100 is white, and everything in between. You want each color to fill the entire space, all the way down to the blackest of blacks and all the way to the whitest of whites. And then you're going to want every color equally represented. Once you achieve this, it usually looks better than the original. So to achieve this, we're going to move some dials around. As we can see here, our exposure is definitely too high. We need to really bring down the darks here. So if we click on exposure, click on shadows, we can bring those down. Simple as that. You want them to just kiss that line, just barely touch the blackest of blacks. And then luckily in this photo, all the colors are pretty much evenly spread out. We've got our blackest of blacks, and we don't really need to increase the highlights because they're already up to that 100 mark. However, the blue is a little bit underexposed in the highlights. So what we can do is we can come over to color, and we can go to the highlights, and let's just bring in a little bit of blue. So as you can see, as I bring the blue up, the red and greens kind of go down, and get things kind of even. So we got our blue now. It's just, coming up. It's a little bit more even like the red and the green. But now the red and the green are a little low. They're sitting at around 99, 98. So let's go back to our exposure, back to our highlights. Let's bring everything up. And that's essentially it. We've just evened everything out. So let's look at our image. So Control 7, and let's see if it looks any better. So this is our color correction we just did, and that's the original. Color corrected, original. In my opinion, the color correction is way better. All right, I'm going to quickly show you how to export this image, and then we're going to do another one if you're interested. You just want to be on some part of the timeline where the image is that you want to export. So go up to File, and you're going to go to Share, and then I had to add the destination, which was Save Current Frame. That wasn't there for me, so I had to go to Add Destination. And then over here we had Save Current Frame, and I added it. But now that I have it there, we can just go to Share, Save Current Frame. And we can save it as a JPEG or a TIFF or a PNG or whatever you want to save it as. And that's all there is to it, and you'll get a full resolution saved copy image. All right, so let's do one more picture. I like this picture of my dog. I actually like the colors, so I'm interested to see if the color correction, if after the color correction I like the result, because I actually think this image looks pretty good. All right, so here we are. Let's take a look at what everything looks like. So you can see this is a little bit more chaotic in the colors. You can definitely see that we could raise the highlights. You can see that the green is lacking in the shadows. And so what do we do about it? I'm going to start with exposure on this one. And I'm going to bring down the shadows right now. Now I know I'm bringing the red and blue too far down, but I plan on bringing those back up in the color. And I'm going to bring the highlights up. So essentially the green was just underexposed at the low and the high end. And so now I've got it about where I want it. I essentially have the green about where I want it. And then I'm going to try and bring the red and blues in as well. So let's go to color. Go to shadows. So you got to bring some of the red and the blues out. So let's see if we can get this evened out here. Things are almost even, about right there. And it looks like we need to bring the shadows up just a little. And now they're all kind of kissing that line about the same. Go to the highlights. Got to bring that blue down, calm down the blues. Now the green's getting a little crazy. Just kind of evening everything out. That looks okay. Back to the exposure. And bring it down. So now we have a more even look. If this is the original, we've definitely even things out a little bit here. So now let's see if we actually like the image. So here's the original, the one I liked, and that's color corrected. There's not a huge difference, but I'll tell you right now, I think the color correction looks a lot better. It's definitely more natural, and it's not as cool as cold because we really calmed down the blues, which means it was probably pretty cloudy when I took this picture and gave us this gray scaled look, but this is beautiful. I like it better. On both images, our little color correction looked way better. All right, I'm happy with both of them. So anyway, hopefully this video helped you guys out, and I'll talk to you in the next one.